Hi, I'm Lexi Love, and let's talk about Geekerella by Ashley Poston. So Geekerella is the first book in the Once Upon a Con series, which, of course, if you know me at all, I had to read it as soon as I found out that this existed. I'm a part-time cosplayer. I'm not a very successful one, but I do a frequent cons occasionally, and I love specifically like Cinderella and various fairy tale reimaginings. So this I knew was going to be an amazing book for me. It's free on Audible if you have a subscription. I just have a slight complaint about the audiobook, to be honest. It's really not the biggest deal in the world, but the two characters are 17 and 18, are Cinderella and Prince Charming characters. And the guy who narrates our Prince Charming character, Darien, is definitely a 30-plus-year-old man. And it took me a while to readjust, but once I was like kind of used to his voice and everything, he's great narrator, just not for this character. Let's get into the story, shall we? So the story is our main character, Danielle. She works on the Magic Pumpkin, which is a vegan food truck with her friend Sage with green hair. And her stepmother is a wedding planner, and she has two twin daughters named Chloe and Calliope. No idea how to spell that, considering I did this on audiobook, but Calliope. They live in like Charleston, South Carolina area, so the narrator for Danielle and the whole like female side is very like twangy, which I actually really enjoyed. I'm personally from Florida, so I hear a lot of accents here from people, traveling everywhere, but we do get a lot of the fun Southern accents too. And that one I love her accent for these characters. They're great. Danielle, her dad was like the biggest fan of the show called Starfield, which is basically like the Firefly equivalent, even though Firefly does exist in this series. You could equate it to Star Wars or Star Trek. It's just like a really popular 80s, 90s, like sci-fi TV show that her and her dad just absolutely loved. Her dad made ExcelsiCon, which is a convention that a lot of people attend. And Darien, our main Prince Charming character, is actually casted as Carmendore, the main character in the reboot movie of Starfield. How he accidentally meets Danielle is he's trying to get a hold of the con director to basically get out of a sighting because he doesn't want to have to go and sign autographs, and ends up texting the number, and instead it's Danielle, and they start more or less blind texting each other even though they don't know each other's names. And also, Danielle has a Rebel Gunners blog that she talks about Starfield on, and she constantly rags on how awful Darien is, like as an actor and as a person, even though she'd never met him before and was completely unaware that she's been texting him. I gave this one a solid 4 out of 5 stars. I have very, very minor complaints about this novel, and most of it is honestly the narrator for Darien. And just a few like lines were super weird. Some things were doubled up on audiobook. So for me, the audiobook wasn't nearly as enjoyable as it probably would have been in a paperback edition or hardcover. So I do plan on picking this up physically to have on my shelf forever because it has to join my fairy tale reimaginings. And the fact that it's also like con-based. It's super fun. I really enjoyed this one. And of course, the rest of the series is also free on Audible. So I will be listening to the rest of them as well.